Hi, this is Sharon with Dating Again and LovingAgainCoach.com. Today I want to talk about communicating in dating. Communicating as it applies to dating. Now, a lot of this is going to apply to communicating with everybody, but I have focused a little bit of it to dating specific. Okay? So, the first part of communicating is listening, because everyone wants to be heard, right? So let's talk about do's and don'ts for a second. Do's. Listen to understand. Okay? You're not zoned out and you're not playing on your phone. You're listening to understand what they're saying, especially if it might be communicating in a little bit of a conflict. You need to understand. So listen to understand, not to respond like the Dalai Lama. Somebody said that. It's all over Facebook on a little meme, right? Okay. Eye contact. Eye contact tells a person that you are paying attention and you are listening. Okay? Keep your eye contact. You can blink. You don't have to stare. But keep your eye contact and use your face to let them know you understand. Oh, no. Or that's awesome. Okay? So eye contact, your face, all good. Okay. Paraphrase. Paraphrase what they just told you. This really helps connect you. Let's say they tell you that they drove across the country to get a new dog because that dog breed was only across the country. So you can respond after they tell you the whole story with, oh, what a great adventure to go get a dog. It doesn't have to be a long paraphrase, but it lets them know that you heard what they said and it validates them. What a great story. You just told them, they just told a great story. Good job, right? Also, you can use touch if it's a situation where you can touch. So a girl can touch a guy, kind of push him and go, no way, right? Or me too, high five. That really helps connection as well. Or sympathy, a sympathy touch on the arm. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. So you can use touch as well in a listening situation. Okay, don't interrupt. We just talked about this. Okay, that awesome thing that you have to interject in their story can wait, and it's going to be just as awesome after they're done with their thought, right? So don't interrupt. Okay, talked about that. Don't zone out. TV off, phone away, do not zone off. And if someone tells you the dumbest story you have ever heard, just go on and think that maybe you're not a good match and maybe you shouldn't be together because that's the dumbest story you ever heard. Do not belittle. Do not come back with something that would be belittling. It's just not kind. So some do's and don'ts of listening. Okay, let's get into communicating in early dating. Early dating situations. So if you've heard any of my videos before, my soapbox for first dates is fun. This is where you decide that you are fun compatible, that you know how to have a lot of fun together. So I do not approve of the first date interview where you just spew off question after question after question and answer and answer and answer and answer. That is one of the don'ts of early dating communication. You don't need to talk about any heavy stuff at all. This is super light, super fun conversation. Okay? So let's remember that communicating is connecting with someone. So early on, this is your opportunity to show your happy self, your funny self, all the best things about you in the early stages of dating. That doesn't mean we hide the icky stuff. That just means we're showing all the good stuff. There's a difference, right? Okay, some more do's and don'ts. Do not come on the date and act really cool and aloof. This happens when somebody usually has a fear of rejection. If you're on this date and you're just there and have an attitude, I actually dated this guy and some of my friends, not the right attitude to bring to a date. I don't care if you're worried about rejection. I actually, when I was on a date with this guy and he wouldn't hardly say anything, and I just thought, oh, he's just too cool for me. And he called me for a second date and I was floored. Okay, so you do not want to be aloof and acting cool. You want to be warm and friendly. Once again, we're showing our best self, right? Okay, do not tell great big huge long stories from your past. Okay, if you've just met this person, we've only gone out on a couple dates, they don't know your history. They can't visualize things, your past. And so they don't have the backstory to connect with a big, long, drawn out story. And sometimes they can just check out. So just avoid big, long stories that have little to do with them. Keep things current, maybe about your boss or someone that they would meet, your cousin, your family. Keep your stories, again, light and fun, but keep them short and light. Okay. No complaining. Okay. I don't care how bad your kids were, how bad the ex was, how bad your boss was. Dating is not a time for complaining. I can't tell you how many times I've sat across the table from someone and became their therapist. Even before I started coaching, I don't want to hear all your problems, especially early on. Like I said, fun. This should be activities. What are our cliche first dates? Miniature golf, bowling. These are actually really great first dates because there's a lot of opportunities to break the touch barrier, high fives, little swats, I don't know. Anyways, so keep things light and fun. Keep your communication because you really don't need to talk about any of the deep stuff just yet. So further on in your relationship, hopefully you've talked about family history and maybe some divorce issues and things. But this is when the communicating really needs to start getting deep and serious, is maybe when we're actually starting to talk about a commitment. So, first of all, I'm going to say, as you're talking about commitment, figure out your conflict resolution style. So if you ask someone, hey, this is getting serious, we haven't had an argument, we haven't had any kind of conflict yet, because right at that point everything should be rainbows and butterflies and unicorns, right? But maybe figure out when you do how you're going to handle it. If you ask somebody, what is your conflict resolution style? Hopefully they won't be saying, I like to yell and slam doors, right? It's a really good time before the conflict starts to figure that out. That way you can refer back to that, right? Okay. Second thing is the hard questions, okay? And sometimes like our wants and needs are really hard to express. I have a stronger personality, and so I'm kind of known for saying it like it is, but I know everybody's not like that. And expressing our wants and needs is hard because like if everything's going really well, we don't want to ruffle things up, right? We don't want to stir the pot. So it's really, really hard, and that actually takes practice. I talk to people all the time who can't say no, and I'll say, can I borrow $50,000? And they'll go, no, and I'll go, look, you can say it. So all this stuff takes a little practice, right? So you just have to practice, but this is my idea. Before any conflict starts, before as the communicating needs to get deeper and deeper, I have made a list of communication questions. You see they're all on the list. What I suggest is a drive up the canyon, roast some hot dogs on a fire. These have been cut up and placed in a cup or a jar, and you just make it a date. You take turns asking some important questions. Now you can come up with some on your own, or you can go to my website, lovingagaincoach.com, and this should be on there as just communication questions. It's just wants, needs, and I've actually put in some love language questions. So you can use mine, or maybe you guys have already talked about this, and maybe you want to come up with someone that is more specific for you as a couple. So I'm going to tell you this before I read some questions. If this starts a fight, it's a big red flag. You should be able to play a little communication game, right? Okay. Communication questions. Besides sex, what is one of your physical needs? I need to run 5 miles every day. It takes 30 minutes, whatever, it's one of my physical needs. There it is. Okay, I mean, that one shouldn't be that hard to express, but you never know. Maybe someone's like, I need a lot of reassurance and I need 10 hugs a day. One of your physical needs, okay? What is one of your emotional needs? Sometimes, especially an introverted person that doesn't want to stir the waters, has a hard time telling you that they're an introvert, and if you're in a big crowd of people, they need to go take a break and recharge before they can come back out. So that would be like an example of an emotional need, right? What are your top 3 personal values? Probably something you're gonna, need to know if you're gonna be in a relationship with someone. Okay, here they go, the love language questions. What is your idea of quality time with your partner? What are some words of affirmation you like to hear? What is the best way someone could serve you? What is your favorite gift you've ever been given? Okay, then I put on here, describe your perfect vacation. You could put whatever just to start a conversation or whatever. Describe a perfect vacation. What is your pet peeve? That's a good thing to know. I've had guys volunteer that before a date, and they were legit. Someone's pet peeve was, I hate it when women talk over me, and I was like, I'm probably not your girl. Anyways, it's a good thing to know what each other's pet peeves are, right? Okay, the last one. How would you like to be told that you are doing or have done something wrong? That you are having an issue? Okay, that is always a good way to get started. Okay, because sometimes you don't know, there's no issues yet, and you don't know how they'd like to be told. So it's a good thing if they can express that to you in advance. But the reason I like this as kind of a fun game is you can refer back to it and say, hey, listen, remember when we were up the canyon asking questions? I really need reassuring hugs throughout the day. I really do need that, and you can go back to some of these questions. So just keep that in mind as you write out your questions. Okay. Conflict resolution. This should probably be 2 videos, but we're going to make it one. Okay. Conflict is inevitable, but fighting is optional. How many times have you heard that? I love that. It's another little meme on Facebook, right? Reacting in a violent way. You are not, if you have a bad temper, you are not permanently stricken with that, okay? So we're going to talk about a couple things: addressing an issue, hearing an issue. Okay, addressing an issue. When you have to address an issue with someone else. Okay, first of all, you are not going to use the issue as a weapon. Like, they just said this to me, so I'm going to come back at them with this. You are always late, okay? It is not a weapon. It is just an issue, okay? If you are going into an issue thinking, I'm going to win this one, I'm telling you right now, you have the wrong attitude, okay? When both people understand each other, both people win. And you need to address this from a place of love. You need to remember that you love this person, okay? Okay, and if you can't be wrong ever, like this is a self-check moment, if you can't be wrong, there is something wrong with you. Keep that in mind. Okay, empathy. How would you want this person to address this issue with you? Okay, keep that in mind as you're addressing the issue. How would I want that said to me? Okay, it's not too hard. In 1 second. Okay, I saw this online and I loved it. Let's talk about perspective for a minute. I'm holding a beach ball and I see red, white, and orange, but you see blue and white. But it's all the same issue. This is a beach ball issue. Okay, I've got red, yellow, and orange, and you've got blue and white. Who is right? Nobody's right. Sometimes there's issues where this is how it is. And either you need to start seeing blue and white, or they need to start seeing red, white, and orange, or this is why the phrase "we need to agree to disagree" is a thing. Because unless it's a moral issue, unless there's cheating or lying or something involved, some issues are just this. It's an issue. It's a beach ball issue, and you either need to agree to disagree, or you need to try to see the blue and white. And I say, if you can try to speak that person's language, they will see red and white and orange. But it's a hard thing because we're all different and we all have different backgrounds. And, we've all watched our parents resolve things differently. But like I said, if you both come to an understanding, you both win. Okay, let's talk about hearing an issue. Okay, once again, we are going to listen to understand, not to respond. Do not interrupt. Your great thought will still be there when they are done. This shows a lot of respect, right? Okay, let them finish all their thoughts. Just let them ramble it out until they're done. Focus on what they're saying. Remember, we're going to put away technology. We can't hear this too much, can we? Okay, then we're going to be appreciative. This is hard, especially if they're coming at us in a kind of an attacking way. Be appreciative. Oh my gosh, thank you for telling me. Validate. Oh my gosh, this must have been hard for you to come to me with this. Okay, that is the kindest approach, right? And again, don't blow up. If you have a bad temper, that is not a permanent condition and you need to practice not blowing up, right? There's way better communication skills. Okay, we're not going to blow up. Even if what they're saying seems really ridiculous to us, maybe we can respond with things like, I had no idea that would upset you. That's just the way I've done things for a long time. Whatever, explain yourself, but I had no idea that was going to upset you. Second thing is, I would never do anything to intentionally upset you. Or I would never do anything intentionally to hurt you. And they probably would agree with that if everything is handled the right way. Okay, or you can just respond with, oh, for sure, I will keep that in mind now. And just take it and just, like I said, thank you, and I will keep that in mind. Okay, so let's say you're having a fun date, a fun conversation, and an argument just erupts. Once again, try to stay calm and do not overreact. And remember, a soft answer turneth away wrath, right? It's in our scriptures, it's in our Bible. You can calm a situation down by being soft and calm. Okay, then remember, you had a plan for the way that you were going to resolve conflict. Okay, we need to initiate that plan. And then, like the ball, if you can come up with a compromise, you both win. So that is just things to keep in mind when something just erupts. So hopefully this has been really some good ideas for you as far as communication goes and conflict resolution. This was really fun for me. Of course, you can always find me at Dating Again on Facebook. LovingAgainCoach.com is my website. If you would like a personal coaching session with me, that is where you would go. I'm Dating.Again on Instagram. And of course, my YouTube channel.